Welcome everyone to our weekly Soul Changes Lives webinar. My name is Debbie Perez Cockburn. I'm so happy to be with you every week. We're starting something new this summer, so we'll still have Greg Halliday on twice a month to talk about product. Usually we do a couple of kind of off the cuff business classes twice a month as well. I thought we'd try something different for the summer. So I'm glad to see that y'all have connected to us today. So we're going to do a natural solutions to everyday situations kind of thing once a month. And hopefully we still have a business chat once a month so that you can ask any questions that you have about soul, about your back office, or how to run your soul business. And so I'm happy to be with you every week. And this week, we're starting off, like I said, a new program, and I am very happy and honored to have Dr. Jenkins be our first speaker for this series for this summer. And he is going to talk to us today about intermittent fasting and the benefits of intermittent fasting, why it can be something that we can start at any age, and what products you can use to support you while you're doing your fasting. So I hope I got it all in there, Dr. Jenkins. Happy to have you be on here this month to talk. Next month, I hope to give a small discussion, and maybe we'll have a two-part class next month on this natural solutions to everyday situations. I'm going to be talking about tapping emotional freedom technology. So tapping EFT, it's very powerful, and it's a very easy technique that you can do to alleviate anxiety. But obviously, one of the first things that we should do to alleviate anxiety is look at our diets. And that's why we have Dr. Jenkins speaking to us today about intermittent fasting. So I'm going to turn the time over to you, Dr. Jenkins. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm so honored to be here and to share my knowledge and experience with fasting. And we do have a testimony by one of my ideal fasters. I won't give a name until the presentation, and then they'll jump in on that. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Can everybody see that? Yes, okay. Now, intermittent fasting, I'm Dr. Hugh Jenkins, a naturopathic and chiropractic physician. I'm the author of the upcoming book, Fasting and Prayer, God's Healing Therapy. For the people that can see me, it's right there behind me, the book cover, and it should be coming out soon. Oops. Okay, what's going on here? All right. Oh.
There you go.
Okay, good, good, good. All right. I want to share my history, education, and training of fasting. I was blessed by Dr. Elvina Fulton. She was the world's authority of fasting at her time. My father, when I was a senior in college and doing pre-med, my father introduced me to her because he'd fasted under her for 4 years earlier. And when I met her at a health convention, she said, "We've got enough doctors, young people going into medical school. We need more people to go into naturopathic school." So she told me about National University of Health Science in Portland, Oregon. I found out about them, and their curriculum was identical to the medical schools that I applied to, but I also had a personal desire to reach there. So during breaks from med school, she allowed me to see her patients and train under her. And one fantastic journey she allowed me to do is to be part of her staff. We fasted, it was a group fast of over 120 people from Christmas of 75 to New Year's of 76 in Atlanta, Georgia. And this was way before the internet. So for all those people to come about that and do that for World Hunger, it was fantastic. Okay, so during my 30 plus years of naturopathic and chiropractic practice in Chicago, and I've done some health and wellness telehealth since then, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people during their fasting journeys to health and wellness. So the thing that I take them through first, which is very, very important, is a cleansing program that I learned from Dr. Fulton, a 5-day cleansing diet, to start the process of cleansing, because it takes over 90 days to cleanse down to the cell level. And then a fast between 7 to 40 days, depending on the person's health issues. Now, the person cannot go on a 40-day fast if they've never fasted before in life, and not without proper supervision. And the most important part of the fasting program was then and is now is the break fast. That's why it's called the first meal of the day breakfast, but it's called break fast. Okay. And so one of my most successful fasting testimonies is my lovely wife, Gwen, on her 40-day fasting journey of better health and wellness. So Gwen, share with people your testimony so that we can hear what God blessed you with.
Okay, can you hear me okay? I think I did unmute my mic. All right. So I met Dr. Jenkins. Wow, it's been what, 34 years ago, maybe? I was living in Chicago. In my 20s, I had gotten married and I had one child. And then I developed, I think from having had toxic shock syndrome, I developed a condition where I was not able to get pregnant again. So I went to a lot of doctors at the time because I was working at AT&T and we had excellent insurance back when insurance paid for everything. So I went to about 10 different doctors trying to find someone who could guarantee that if I had the surgery, which is what they were recommending, that I would, at the end of that, procedure, I would be able to carry a baby full term and I would have my baby. And no one could guarantee that. It was like a 10 or 20% chance. I'm like, that's not good enough for me to undergo surgery because I just didn't like the idea of having surgery. So I thought, there's got to be a better way of doing that, some other way, because I did not have to have surgery in order for this condition to have developed. So there's got to be a non-surgical way of dealing with it that can also correct the problem. So I was married to a different man at the time. And so I woke up one Saturday morning. My husband would get up early and he would listen to this radio program like early in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And this particular Saturday, I got up, went to the bathroom, came back, lay back down. I was going to go back to sleep because I worked, Monday through Friday. And the person who was talking was Dr. Jenkins, and he was talking about a group of women he had been working with for several years, who had come to him with infertility problems. Well, that caught my attention. I sat right up in bed and I listened to that whole interview. And he said that maybe a couple of dozen of these women had gone through his program and now they all had children. I'm like, I'm calling that guy as soon as his office is open today, and I'm making an appointment and going to go in to see him. So I called that day and I made an appointment for the following weekend, and I went in to see him. He did his evaluation, and then to my surprise and maybe a little shock, he told me that I was going to need to go on a 40-day fast. I thought, I have fasted before on my own, first time for like 3 days, and then I did a 5-day fast. I did a 7-day fast. I think I'd gotten up to maybe about 11 days, but it was nothing like the therapeutic fast that he put me on. And so I did the fast. It was difficult in the first 3 days, but I had already made up my mind. I'd made a decision that I was willing to do whatever was necessary because I wanted to have another child. So I agreed to go on the fast. he gave me the 5-day cleansing diet, which consisted of a tea that was really kind of bitter, but I got up every morning, I drank the tea, I made the protein shake, I drank the juices throughout the day, and then it made it easier for me to go on the 40-day fast. So I fasted for 40 days, plus I did that 5-day pre-fast cleansing process, which the only thing I was able to eat were like fruits that had seeds in them. And anything with the seed in it is a fruit. So I had that, and then the juices and protein. And the first 3 days, it was very hard because I thought that I had to eat something. I didn't, because I wanted to get the best results. And so after the third day, it was like I was on a high. I was so happy, and I felt like stress had kind of just fallen away, and I felt so light and free. And so the rest of the fast was really easy. It wasn't difficult, but I was doing some other therapies that he had me on, some internal cleansing and some exercise every day for at least an hour. It's a whole program for the fasting, but I felt great, and I lost like 2 dress sizes. So I also looked pretty fantastic. So it was a good thing. And after I broke the fast, which took another 5 or 7, for every 5 days you fast, you have to just drink a broth for like 7 days. So the whole process was maybe about 55, 60 days. And when I got off of it, my father died like right at the end of the fast. So I had to go to Texas to help, with the funeral arrangements and everything. And then a couple of months later, I was pregnant. I carried the baby full term, and now he's right in Arlington, and we talk a lot. And I'm just really happy about the results. So fasting was like surgery for me, and it was an interesting journey.
Wow, that's awesome.
Now, the thing about the fast is not everybody can fast for 40 days, but everybody can fast. Very important, because, folks say, I'm gonna go on a 40-day fast. Like I said earlier, do not go on a 40-day fast if you've never done a fast before. It's like saying, I'm gonna run a marathon. You never ran a 5 or 10K race. It takes time and proper supervision, okay? Fasting is absence of solid food, so you can drink liquids, juices, things like that. I'll talk about the 4 drinks that Soul has in a little bit more detail for a period of time for health benefits. Now, a number of things that you get health benefits for the fast is fat loss through ketosis. A lot of people on the ketogenic diet, and it's nothing new. It's been around since the 1930s. And so people are getting that, and their health issues, from diabetes to high blood pressure to even cancer, getting better. They're using intermittent fasting with chemotherapy for benefit for that. It's great for weight management, not weight loss. And I tell folks, okay, let's change the words from weight loss, because people put that same mindset. It's like when they lose their keys, they want to gain their keys back. It's like when you lose your weight, you get their weight back plus more. Then the most important part of that is following up with a healthy plant-based diet, not going back to the average American sad, toxic diet. Because folks will say, well, I'm going to eat a McDonald's meal and then I'll run it off or go into the gym. No, that's a joke. Because it'd take you a McDonald's meal, it'd take you a marathon to burn up all those calories. It gives you more vibrant health. Your energy level, your stamina, all these things are much, much better. Better mental clarity. They've used it for up to and including Alzheimer's. Like I said, when I was in med school, I would fast to get that mental clarity to my brain. The recall was just fantastic. It's easy to become part of your lifestyle for life, because you just don't incorporate it as, oh, I'm fasting as a diet. Don't say I'm fasting as part of my eating regime. okay? And increases your longevity, because what happens on a fast is that it slows the aging process. You go through a process called autophagy, back in the day when I learned from Dr. Fulton, it's called autolysing, self-eating. The body eats the fat, the wasteful, and the disease cells first. Everything that's there that's not needed for basic function. That's why clinics, there's one clinic in Germany, and they've been fasting people for over 100 years, and they've been able to cure, and they say this on the videos, cure all diseases from A to Z. Now, one thing that happens when you are eating is that 70% of the blood goes to the digestive system. So the other areas of the body are being starved. When you are fasting, that 70% is redirected to other body systems, like the nervous system, like I said, for mental clarity, the circulatory system, the immune system. Fasting is fantastic during this COVID pandemic that we're having. So it is a fantastic part of your lifestyle. Now, intermittent fasting has different lengths and times. Each person has a personal vibrational match for them. You know, it's like when you vibrate with somebody else, you can do that. So it depends on which ones that you do. There's many intermittent fasting, but the most common ones are the 12-hour fast, half a day fast, and you can do that. You know, some people are doing that throughout the week. Some people are doing it weekly. And then there's a 16-hour, the most popular fast. You know, the 12-hour fast is great for beginners because, you know, people will go, okay, I want to fast and I want to do this for health reasons, for religious reasons, like my book, Fasting and Prayer, God's Healing Therapy. We incorporate those two because it's complete healing. So it's really fantastic for the beginner. You don't have to go through anything because it's great to add to your lifestyle. And the simple window that you're using is you're using 2 hours before bed. Ideally, you know, you should eat no later than 8 p.m. Debbie, I know you go to bed by 8:30 and you're eating by 4:30, which is really great. You know, so that's the 2 hours. Ideally, they say to sleep, you know, from 7 to 9 hours on an average of 8 hours. So that 8 hours of sleeping, you know, which should be from 10 p.m. because anytime you sleep before 12 midnight, you get the deepest and best quality sleep, and then wake up by 6 a.m. and then 2 hours after you wake up. So you got that 2, 8, 2, that's 12 hours of sleep. And do you know everybody, even babies, fast when they're sleeping because they're not eating, you know? And even if the doctor says, well, no, you can't fast because you got to take your medicine with food. But what do they tell you when I want you to take a fasting blood work for your sugar or for something else? So everybody fast. This is a good one. Really, really simple because it's 2 hours before sleep and then 2 hours afterwards. And then the 16-hour fast, which is most common, is commonly known as 16-8 fasting. It's the next step to your 12-hour fast. Now you can do it differently, and there's many different types of intermittent fasting there's an extensive one for 23-1. You're fasting for 23 hours and going 1, but this most common one is the 16-8. And that window is you eat no later, your dinner no later than 8 p.m. Ideally, it should be a light meal, you know, because even if you have a heavy meal and you're sleeping on it, it's still weighing down the digestive system. And you got your 8 hours of sleep from 8 to 6, and then 4 hours after you wake up. So if you wake up at 8 a.m., then your first meal is at noontime, your lunch, which should be your biggest meal. And then that gives the digestive system a time for it to do its work, you know. But a lot of people, you know, a lot of these diets say you should eat your heaviest meal at dinner time. No, you should not. Okay, so this is a great one. And by incorporating this into your lifestyle, and like I said earlier, the medical profession is incorporating intermittent fasting with chemotherapy because it increases the benefit of the immune system and decreases the side effects of the chemotherapy, so you get the best benefit. And then some of the soul supplements that we're using, the Power Chi, this one here, you can see that. You see that? Very good. It's one of the benefits I love in here is it got the apple cider vinegar, the red beetroot formula, which and some of the other ones help to balance off that blood sugar and keeps that and keeps your chi, your energy flowing. And we also have for the drinks that I talked about before, we have the cinnamate. Cinnamate is for the blood sugar craving control, and not just craving of blood sugar, but also craving of other things, of the alcohol. Okay, of the alcohol. Can everybody see that good? Good, good, good. The stamina, because some people start to get fatigued during a fast. The digestive energy, even though you're not eating on a fast, you know, it's going to get that digestive system working so it can eat up the toxins that are in there. And for the immune enhancing. The immune system and the digestive system work together as a team. Then our next one, we have that Excel for clarity, antioxidant, alertness. It strengthens the bones. It strengthens the bones. And a lot of those people, as we're getting older, we're having weak strength, even men. Okay, it's good for the libido and the endocrine system. And what it does is does what the body needs. You know, you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, will it give me a big sex drive? Only if the body needs that. And sex is a good part of a healthy living. Okay, then we have the Renew for stress relief. A lot of people stressed out because, oh, I have to eat. If I don't eat, you get stressed out. No, you don't have to eat. Okay, it's a very good sleep aid because during that time of fasting, it helps to get that digestive system working. You won't have to worry about the anxiety of not eating. Restores the harmony and rejuvenate and keeps you focused, And then one thing, the last one is the Vital, okay? Now the Vital is good for detoxification during the cleansing program and also during the fast and also for breaking the fast. It's also alkalizing because we have so much stress, which makes us acidic. Very good for the recovery because when you're breaking the fast, you want to recover and go into a better lifestyle and balancing the energy because a lot of times our energy is low or it's too high, but when it's balanced with adaptogen herbs, it's really, really fantastic. So by using these few herbs, and we can also use other ones because on the fast, you're drinking, you know, like on the cleansing diet, you're drinking a protein drink. So you got the collagen, you got the protein. You can make a smoothie. It is really fantastic.
Could you use the Soul Complete during that too?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, yes. And the thing about it, if you put it in a high-speed blender, which I've done before, I would put that in there, the Soul Complete, the Soul Royal, put some
greens.
seeds in there. Yes. Yeah. We just kick it up a notch. So you're drinking a meal. And a lot of people feel that, oh, you're not fasting if you're drinking something other than water. But there's so many different fasts, and that's explained in my book, Fasting Prayer, God's Healing Therapies. So you don't have to worry about that because even if you go on a fast one day a week, which we've done for 24 to 36 hours, then you're still going to get some benefit as if you make it consistent, you know, and keep that benefit there. So that is my presentation on intermittent fasting. And so any questions?
I have a few questions that I think might clarify things for people who may watch this later on.
Okay.
So when we're talking about those first hours when you wake up, are we drinking water? And are we taking supplements at that time? And then we eat our first meal at noon?
For the 16-8? Yes, yes. Because you still want to hydrate the system. A lot of people are too dehydrated, you know, and one of the popular fasts is the air fast, you know, which I do not suggest for people to do. And because if you have any indication of dehydration, you're going to dehydrate yourself more.
And you can look for symptoms of dehydration by looking at your fingertips. If they look pruny, then
Right.
you're not hydrated. If they look nice and full, then you're good on your intake, right? So that's one thing that we
Exactly.
need to look for. I was also going to ask Dr. Jenkins on do you look at blood type when you recommend the fruits? Is that something that we need to worry about, or?
Well, let me stop sharing my screen so we can have a full screen. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, when we're looking at that, is that when I learned from Dr. Fulton, and this was back in the 70s, her cleansing diet was just eating fruits and no bananas. But since that time, we have so much diabetes and prediabetes, and adult onset diabetes is now called type 2 diabetes.
Mhm.
I tell folks that you have to eat fruits, vegetables, raw foods, because we need more greens with the minerals in there than we need the fruits in there. So we won't do that. And when it comes to the blood type, I've got one patient and her body type, and her thing was blood type O. And she was so concerned that she shouldn't eat something. She was losing weight and not looking good. And so she went to the extremes. So I said, the most important part, more than the blood type, is the pH, acid and alkaline, and that should be checked. And that's the benefit of the soul products, because we are more acidic than we are acid. More acid than we are acidic.
Alkaline,
So,
yeah. Uh-huh.
I eat all this alkaline stuff, this and the other. And thing I ask them, what is your stress level like? It's off the chain. And that's the number one that'll throw you into an acid pH. So the advantage of this keeping you in check, keeping you alkaline, and keeping you calm, that's the benefit of that.
Yeah. And I love that, because I think most people don't know their baseline stress level. Right. And just like you should know your baseline numbers for like your blood sugar, your blood pressure, all of these things that we should have a number for, right? Cholesterol and know those things. You need to have a baseline for your stress. So like if something is stressing you out, you need to give it a value. And I'll talk about this on the next class when we talk about tapping, but you can go from 1, which is like ideal, because a little bit of stress is great for your body. It fine tunes organs, but 10 would be the worst, right? So like if you were looking at pain, right, you'd say 1 is really great because you have no pain, and 10 is horrible, excruciating pain, right?
Exactly.
So you think of your stress the same way. You give it a grade between 1 to 10, and then you look at it throughout the day. And is it gone higher? Is it gone lower? That will help you when you're fasting.
Right. And one of the things that stresses you out is the diet. The worst thing for the nervous system is sugar, because it takes the nutrients away from you when you're eating a heavy meal. And you should not eat when you are stressed out.
Because then you overeat and you eat the wrong things.
Right. And the nervous system, the digestive system.
I wrote the book on that one.
And do you know that people have adrenal burnout from stress, and doctors will not test for that?
No.
Yeah. Oh, insurance is not going to pay. It's not really indicated for that. And I talked with my doctor about that. I said, I want to check things going on with that. Well, we'll do a complete panel. We'll do a thyroid thing. I said, what about my adrenals? The adrenal glands and the thyroid glands are like Siamese twins. Well, we just don't do that. I said, okay.
Yeah, they work together. And usually if one is stressed, the other one is low, right? So if they test you for your thyroid and your thyroid is low, your adrenals are in bad shape, and vice versa. If you are a workaholic and you're always going, you're headed for adrenal burnout, and that shuts down the thyroid. And that's where people kind of lose their, I can't say that word, but they lose their stuff. They lose their hair. They lose the flaccidity in their skin. They lose their joy of life, that joie de vivre. They lose sleep. Just think about losing your stuff when you are super stressed and your adrenals are working hard. You are putting so much pressure on those, you're overworking everything else in your body. And that's when you start to lose your stuff. You really do start to lose your shiz. And I don't mean like you lose like your temper, although that will happen too. But you start losing all the, you can see it in your eyes. Your eyes don't look sparkly. Your face stops smiling. You know, a smile for a stressed person might be this. You know, it's not this. You know, you see the teeth and you see the joy in the eyes. Their hair loses luster, their hair breaks, their nails become brittle, your skin looks really dry, your face loses flaccidity, right? That's where you start to look gaunt, your skin starts to sag, you actually even change color. And so all of those things are things that we need to look out for. I am so excited because I really do want to start my fasting program.
Okay.
And most of you know my personal story. I was battling with a lump in my breast and was able to get rid of that with our products and modifying my diet. And then what happened? Then I fell, right? And then I was dealing with that situation and it got to be a little too much. And my husband said, hey, let's sell the RV and move into the Motel 6 because that way we'll be close to the property and we can keep an eye on the construction. Well, come to find out, this little motel isn't the best place in town, doesn't attract the best people. And so the stress has been a bit much for me. And while I have tried to control my eating, I do recognize and take full responsibility for my bad choices. And I can see it. That's why I'm wearing my hair all curly today because it is looking really dry. Ooh. And I thought, okay, I'm taking my omegas. That means I'm not getting enough fat in my diet, right? And so we know that avocado is a fruit because it has a seed in it. It's not a vegetable. I should be eating more avocado. I should be eating more things that are better sources of omega. If I love it when I have my blender with me, but I don't have a high-speed blender right now. And so I would love to take that, but you know, there's no excuse. I can still shake up my avant greens and my collagen. So, you know, there's things that I can do, but I'm really excited. And I had one more question. I think this might clear up things for everybody else too. Could I do that shake and be my breakfast at noon?
Yes, you can. Now, what is the longest fast you've ever been on?
I started intermittent fasting and started doing the 16-8.
Okay.
And I did it and I was able to do that for about a month.
Okay.
I haven't really done it more than that, but I haven't done like the pre-fast cleansing. And I definitely didn't do a post-fast recuperation, which I think would have been more beneficial. But I think everybody could try this realistically. And summertime is a great time to get all the fruits with seeds because this is the time we can get, you know, peaches and pears and cherries. And I'm trying to think of all the stuff that I love with seeds.
Great one. Watermelon is
a great one and helps with hydration.
Yeah.
And it has to be fruits with seeds, not seedless fruits.
Right. You can't buy a seedless watermelon and get the same benefit because it's been genetically modified.
Right.
And most people don't understand that. But grapes have seeds. Watermelon, peaches, pears, cherries. What else? Tell me.
Cantaloupe,
great one.
Apples.
Apricots.
Oranges, all your seeds. And even the ones you don't think are seeds are cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Squash, yellow squash is really, it's a season right now. Tomato. You said avocados already.
There's a bunch of things that we can eat during this fast where you don't have to stress and worry. Oh, I'm going to be hungry. No, you're not going to be hungry. I promise you.
Right. Okra. Oh, gosh.
Okra. Oh, my favorite. I love okra.
Oh, my gosh. And it's so good raw. I like to just take the pods and just eat them like I'm eating an apple. I'll sit and watch something and just eat okra. It's so good to me. I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think we've answered all of the questions that we might have had. I hope to speak with you tomorrow, Dr. Jenkins.
Okay,
And then I will make an appointment to speak with Sybil. I think this will be really great for all of our watchers and listeners, for all of the members of our group. I can't wait to render this recording so that you all can share it. I think we're going to have fun this summer talking about things that can help us every day. And if you'd like and prefer to have 2 of these classes a month and the 2 classes with Greg, if we need an extra business class, let me know. Or
Okay.
just send me a message and just say, Debbie, I have a question about this. I might be able to direct you to one of our previous videos and something to help you along. Okay. I
yeah,
love you guys.
and
Thank
I'll
you
let
so
you know
much.
when my book is coming out, because it's getting closer and closer to that time. Yes, and thank you
Awesome.
so much for allowing me to share my knowledge.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so accommodating, because
Right.
this was something we just threw at you. And I was just so grateful. We're just looking for ideas to help everybody this summer. So
One last thing that I always say at the end of my fasting and prayer presentation: takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to heal a body through fasting and prayer. Thank you, God, for our healing.
amen.
Awesome. Amen. Love it.
Bye, guys. Love you. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Okay.